Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Topstep's Q&A. I'm Dan Hodgman, and today we got the founder, CVO, Mr. Topstep himself, Michael Patak. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Mr. Hodgman.
Excited to have you here. We just had an awesome podcast released. So first off, everyone, go check out Limit Up. Michael joined Jack and I. Had an awesome conversation. Michael ordered about 27 smoothies throughout it, working in a coffee shop, and now he's in a quiet office. Ski in, ski out, from what I understand, in Aspen. Not a bad life you got going over there. So happy to have you here. I'm glad you made time for us. I think we've got some awesome questions. So first off, everyone out there, questions, if you have them, drop them in the chat. I am going to be doing my best. I did see a comment saying someone just submitted one. I don't have access to that one. I'm not checking the emails and stuff. So just drop your comments right here or questions right here in the chat. We're going to get to as much as we possibly can. But first and foremost, you guys can see it on us now. This is a different color, the hats. Michael, what did we have?
We're ODing on Topstep right now. I like it. No, these are the new gear, and I wear mine all the time because they're really comfortable. And then I got on with Danny minutes before this, and I noticed I have that same one as well. The Topstep on the sleeve. I actually got a look from an individual. I was in Aspen, unclicking my skis or whatever from my snowboard from the truck, and somebody goes, "Is that Topstep, like Topstep Trader?" And I go, "That it is." And we had a good conversation.
And it's not Trader anymore, strictly Topstep. There's no more Topstep Trader, Topstep FX. We're all one, so no more questions about are you Forex, are you futures? We're both. And you can get the same stuff we're wearing. We have an actual store, which I'm pumped about. I mean, we've been needing this for a while. Everyone's always asking. So you can check out our store right on our website. We already got people coming in saying they need the hat. Order the Hogue shirt, as John Hoagland says.
You see this, Danny?
I love it.
The Yetis. This. And then you do this. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So we got tons of gear. We got tons of stuff. So first and foremost, first off, I want to thank everyone for submitting these questions you've brought in. There's some really great ones, and we're going to do our best to get to as many as humanly possible. Just so everyone knows, this is going to be more regular too. So if we don't get to it this time, first off, you can always drop them in our chat on the market forecast and recap. John and I are happy to answer as many questions as possible. We got some great ones, and there's a lot that had to do with very similar things. So I wanted to touch on a couple from the get-go. One, which I'm really excited that I got to see some comments about this, was a lot of people were asking about Spanish, Michael, wanting some more content in Spanish. And we're working on that. That stuff's something in the process. We definitely want to get more bilingual content out there for as many people as humanly possible. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, one of the company priorities is internationalization, which is we're focusing on Spanish right now.
Absolutely. So we're going to try and get that stuff going. And another one that I love, I think it's one of the best things introduced by CME since in a very long time, is this concept of micros. Opens up trading a little bit. It allows more people to get involved, and that's what we do at Topstep. And we're about is getting as many people into these markets so you don't have to put up that $30,000. Micros has allowed that. And so, Michael, we've had a lot of people asking about, in the regular trading combine, can you use micros? And follow up to that is, with the use of micros, it seems that the contracts are equivalent to the max contracts you can do in the minis.
Yeah, so there is that. I've seen that feedback on our Facebook group. I've seen that feedback out there. You can trade micros with the minis. I suggest sticking to one or the other. When you bounce from one or the other, you can get yourself into a scaling plan or max position issue. We have a fix coming up for the max position stuff, and that's really exciting. So that's coming up very, 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 very soon. I think you guys will all be happy, but I don't know if I'm supposed to touch too much on that, but it's going to be very exciting for the folks that are here.
Keep an eye on things. We've got some stuff in the works coming out. And one thing to answer to, I know micros are 1/10 of a mini. Our contracts are max out at, the biggest you can do is 15. Right now, tech only allows us to allow 15 micros. That's something we are working on. It is on our board. We definitely want to open that opportunity so you can trade a little bit more on the micro side. We get it. We understand.
You can still engage with the markets. You can still, if you're at 150K, put on 15 micros. Yeah, that is not the same equivalent as 15 minis. Massively different there. We're going to be figuring that out, but we wanted to make it so you have the ability to trade micros and minis, stay engaged, small, and then be a part of whatever move there may be that you're trying to catch on to.
Speaking of moves, we've got moves going on right now. We're seeing equities hit these all-time highs. Got a lot going on geopolitically, but we got markets that are actionable. Michael, I think I've known you for probably 6 or 7 years at this point. I think I've seen you more active trading this year than I've seen in a very long time. How's it going for you? What are you looking at? And what's been the drive for you getting back into this market as active as you've been? Extremely active. I mean, you steal that platform from me all the time.
Well, I would say I'm actively participating in both watching and trading very, very lightly. If I was full-time trading right now, I would probably be sizing up just a little bit more. I'm just 1-2 lots right now. It's a lot of it to stay in tune with the S&P, NASDAQ, and the Dow, the three that I'm watching. Of course, I'm watching the macro and picture and foreign markets as well. But I am engaging with those. We're talking about those markets. If you can't trade small, you can't trade big. I enjoy trading 1s and 2 lots. It's fun. And I'm adhering to my $500 loss limit, and I'm putting up some pretty good days. So we've been talking about those in our podcast quite a bit. So
without a doubt.
Yeah, so I've just been back engaged with it. The markets have been moving around a lot. It's a good trade when you get it. Now this melt up and this continual grind since March, I got to say that I'm looking for a correction, as every trader does. You know, take the stairs up, the elevator down, or it slides faster than it glides, that type of stuff. So I've been looking for, and we've been having these comments, Danny, you and I.
Yep.
I've been saying the perma bear stuff, and you've been talking about perma bull. But we never sink our teeth in too deep, and we never get our feet stuck in concrete with those type of biases. Always a flexible bias in trading, always open-minded, and always learning. So that's what we've been talking about on our podcast, and it's been fun to stay engaged so that I can have those conversations with you and others.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the markets have been fun this year. I think as traders, there's something we always have to keep in mind is, first off, we get excited, right? You get into the market, especially if you're new to this. When you enter into that market, there's a lot of excitement. And there's this idea of you got to be patient. You touched on it. You're actively watching, which is really important, to actively watch what's going on. You have to be patient. It's not always we're going to have these huge volatile times. We just saw a little volatility at the end of today, but equities today were quiet markets. So to dive into some of the questions, Again, we have some that were submitted. I'm going to go through those, and I'm also going to go through anything you guys get here in the chat. And I just saw one come in that I think is an interesting one. Michael, on the recap, every day on the recap, I sit down, and last year we talked about what are we going to look at? Well, we watched Tesla and the VIX all last year, two big movers. This year, we decided to get really crazy, and we said, all right, we're going to buy one contract of something, and we bought just for fun, just for having a little fun with it. Nothing realistic behind this, but like buying Bitcoins. We decided on the recap, we're going to buy one Bitcoin. We bought one share of Airbnb. Simulated having some fun. We're going to ride it through the year, see where we end up. And we got a question that's come in asking if we can get Bitcoin futures into the trading combine. Yes, it's volatile, but that's what risk management rules are there for. What are your thoughts on that?
It's volatile and it's fairly thin. So those two things are kind of, well, for one, it's very attractive. Of course, I get it. I get the attractiveness of Bitcoin. Though it's volatile, it's thin. Yeah, good risk management needs to be in place. It's hard to really learn great, or decent risk management when you have a high flyer like that, because you're seeing a lot of money move and lessons kind of go out the window. We are looking at it. And I think we're going to take it case by case, or day by day,
right?
On that. It is interesting. I am more interested in it now It's kind of like the Bitcoin 2.0 period right now of like, remember the web 2.0 back in the
Yep.
day when kind of the web, the new big players started to emerge. It's still around, it's still ticking, and but it's still high flying. So we're all about risk management. We're all about long-term success as far as traders here. We are day traders, we are swing traders, we are position traders. That's something that we need to focus on as far as risk management. And when it comes to something high flying like that, I don't really want to tell somebody that's new, go jump into that. I'd rather tell somebody to go jump into the S&P. I mean, even the NASDAQ is high flying right now.
Yeah.
So if you want some action, NASDAQ will probably tickle your fancy there. But yeah, if you're new, if you've been trading for a couple years even, I think the S&Ps and I think the S&Ps are trading pretty healthy.
I would agree. And I think just for perspective, we talked actually in the Coach's Playbook this week a little bit about Bitcoin. We kind of delved into it, and Mick made the point. Mick is our risk manager here at Topstep. He made the point to say that if you carried one long of Bitcoin on Monday and it went against you, one contract could have hurt you $42,000. Yes, it's an enticing product. Right now, it's not a safe product. I was just looking at the spread on it about a half hour ago, and the spread is 15 to 20 ticks. It's very thin. If it thickens up and the market gets a little bit, in my opinion, more tradable.
Why does that matter, though, Danny? Why does thinness matter? So we always need to tell people, like, if you have a stop in there and you're being a great risk manager, that stop can really have some pretty big slippage. And when it has really big slippage, and you're a 2-to-1 trader, okay, 2-to-1.
Yep.
I'm risking $200 to make, I'm risking $100 to make $200, 2-to-1. But then I always have the slippage. My stops are always slipping. Then your win rate, because that's the math here. If you're a 2-to-1, you only have to be right 40% of the time to be profitable. Of course, if you're right 50% of the time with a 2-to-1, you're going to be much more profitable. But if you're constantly having that slippage in there, it's going to screw with your risk management. So just that's kind of the why behind trading in thick markets, liquid markets that don't have a lot of slippage, because there is that. You need to factor that in, because if
Absolutely.
You're a trader, you need to have a risk management in place, and you need to be adhering to the risk management, which also means don't be moving your stops, but that's a different story. This is stops with slippage.
Right, and you think about it, just talking about stops too, when slippage comes into play, a lot of traders like to have a stop market order. If the market really starts to slide, your order can be completely missed.
That's the best stop to have.
I like both. It depends for me, but the stop market order is just going to hold at that price, where if you have a stop limit, it's just going to finally fill. And if there's a lot of slippage, opposite. Thank you. It's going to fill. So you got to just be conscious about a lot of that stuff. All right. So I want to.
The reason why I'm going to say really quickly stop markets, because a stop is there, and how my trading is, stop is there. Give me the heck out.
Right.
And then if you have a stop limit, you're like, I thought I was out. No, I'm not out. There's a limit. So.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that one on me. So I want to dive into some more questions that we've had emailed in, and the first one I like. I get called out a little bit, which I love. Yesterday, we were talking in the recap, if you were there, that for me, one of the biggest things is looking at a higher time frame chart. So, here's a question we've got in. Why does it help to look at a higher time frame? That type of thinking seems to be obvious and well accepted amongst Topstep personalities, but the basis for it is not apparent to me. It seems that taking a couple $100 per one lot a few times a day is not a bad P&L for the day. In the days of high commissions, I completely understand why, and you would want to avoid that type of trading. But that is not the world we live in anymore. Is that mindset a hold from those days, or do you have another reason to adhering to it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And a lot of people, kind of the older you get in your trading journey, you kind of go to higher time frames. Why? Because there's a lot of noise in these smaller time frames. So this individual's looking for a couple $100. You could still catch a couple $100 on a higher time frame, better entries, and possibly set yourself up for a bigger move to your way. Because again, smaller time frames, you're going to get in and you can get shooken out. The trend it's a smaller time frame trend. So when you think about higher time frames, you think about if it's trending up, you know, then you kind of understand, okay, if it's trending up, the smaller time frames help you with entries, fine. Yeah, but when you think about looking at larger time frames, 15-minute, 30-minute, you get better entries in general, in my opinion. Overall, yeah, you can sniper shoot it. Hey, I'm at the 15. I'm watching the 15-minute or the 30-minute. It's pulling back. I'm a buy the dip type of individual. It's trending higher on the 30-minute. I can zoom into my 5-minute and get a really, really nice entry on that one. That's kind of what I would look at when I'm doing that. So again, traders that, and I don't know if it's just traders that have been around longer. They've been shooken out of trades. They've been stopped and it's gone their way. So they go to higher time frames to help them really gauge their setups. And to me, in what I've seen, that's been really successful for a lot of the funded traders and a lot of the conversations and trades that we have on.
Awesome. Thanks for clarifying that. And and I think ultimately one thing we all want to keep in mind too, all of trading, you have to find what works for you. And so my biggest thing is if you're going to trade on a smaller time frame, make sure you're consistent with the way you view that market. We can execute based off of similar strategies and they work in multiple different time frames. I think, and Michael alluded to it too, the second you get a little too small, you can get shaken out because the market's starting to make it look like something's happening. But if you back it out, you can see a little bit more.
And I have a funny quick example on that. Just literally today, before I started talking to you, Danny, I always have my auto LCOs in. It's basically 5 tick, 5 handle in the S&P, 5 handle stop with a 10 handle, 9.5 around there, profit target. I thought I was looking at the 15-minute chart. I was looking at the 30 when I got in. I mean, right when I got in, I'm like, oh, that's a good entry. And it's a 30. I'm like, hell yeah, it's even a better entry. I thought in my head, that's even a better entry than looking at my 15-minute because there was something covering up my time period, which I usually can flip through 15 or 30, and I had it on a 30. So I was happy with that, and that kind of lends to this example that that's a little bit harder entry to get, especially in the higher time frames. But when you get them, I mean, I think it did sell off, and I think I probably covered because I sold 38.05s and sold down to 37.90s.
90s, yeah. Yeah, I think you're good there.
But I assume I got hit.
Awesome. Next question. I think this is a great question. And we do have a few different ones about algorithmic trading, computer style trading. And the first one we'll touch on here. Does your platform provide API to integrate with customized software or third-party tools?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. NinjaTrader, I think, is famous for being very good with integration and third-party tools coming in. And so on top of that, I want to bring in another one that kind of connects with this question. As retail traders, we have virtually no access to algorithmic trading. It appears as if Topstep is also kind of behind the curve there in that respect. Therefore, would very much appreciate if you would address this concern. Think of ways to take advantage of algorithmic trading.
I don't think we are behind on that at all. We're focused on giving an individual the discretion to use their free will to make the trades at their discretion or put those discretions into an algo. Mm-hmm. Because basically that's what it is. You're putting your trading plan into an algo and saying, if this does that, if I'm down this much, I'm done for the day. Is that in your algo? I hope it is, because that's a part of your trading plan. Because you have to shut your algo on or off, up or down for the day, and that should be a part of your trading plan. I call it a day when I put up this. I call it a day when I have this many losers and this. So you have to turn your algo on or off. So that's a discretionary move. So either way, discretionary traders need to learn risk management. What better way to learn risk management than having quote unquote the training wheels off and trading according to have an LCO, have a if it reaches this profit, it automatically gets me out of my position. If it hits this stop, it automatically gets me out of my position. And then you start building that trading plan or that consistent trade around that. Algo if that's what you want to do. But I've never seen anybody have an algo that you just set it and forget it and it never gets tweaked on. You always got to bring that car into the pit and tweak on it, because the market's going to different states and new information hits and volatility changes, all that kind of stuff. So, but you can tie an algo. So we're not behind the curve. You can do it. But we do understand that you need to have a foundation of risk management. And the best way to do that is to have your hands on the steering wheel and controlling that, and then feeling what that happens when you make those decisions.
Awesome. Yeah, one thing just about me, where I came from, the prop firm that I was last at, we did have an algo trading euro-dollar options. And it was not just turn it on and sit back. There were multiple times throughout the day you had to adjust settings. There's a lot that goes into them. And for sure, if you got something that works, bring it in. Let's tie it up. Let's see you make some money, but make sure you're back testing. So definitely you can bring in what you want. Here at Topstep, we want discretionary traders. We got retail traders. We want you guys in these markets. And
algo traders, in general, the bottom line is you're going to figure out how to manage risk regardless of how you're doing it.
Absolutely. All right, Michael, next question. I like this one. Coming all the way from Uganda, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Will there ever be arrangements to fund guys that are not just day traders, like holding positions for, say, days and weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a swing trading account currently that you can hold for days. And can you hold over the weekend?
Yep.
You can? Okay.
You can hold over the weekend. Yeah. You can hold over the days. FX side, you can carry throughout the week. You got to be flat by Friday on the FX side. So if you're trading Forex, you got to be flat by Friday. But the swing trading combine, you can sit in a position as long as you want. Just don't let it expire.
The swing trading is micros, so you can put that on. And if you're one of those that have a higher time frame, go back to that higher time frame. Like, hey, I like to let things develop over time, whether it's a couple of days or over the next 2 weeks or over the next month. There's going to be ups and pullbacks and all that kind of stuff. So your risk management still there. It's not out the window because I can hold it longer. It's just going to continue to move away from my risk. So you got to manage that. So yes, we do have swing trading option using micros in the futures account.
All right, Michael, I got a great one in the chat here. I think you're going to get a chuckle out of this one. Are we brothers?
Well, yeah, from a different mother.
Right. I like that one. That one comes from D. Bosek 2008. All right.
I haven't seen you at a family reunion, so we are brothers from a different mother.
Right. I haven't gotten the Evite.
Yeah.
Where were you on Christmas? My mom had the whole king roast ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. These questions I love. I got a group of them here coming from Australia. I like when people put where they're coming from in their question and their response. And I thought these were spectacular, especially start of the year. His first question, how do you set your trading goals for the year?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I always reflect on what I did the prior year. Back in the early days, I didn't care about what I did the prior year. I go, well, this year I'm going to do 500 grand. Well, if you didn't do 50 grand last year, what the hell are you doing setting your goals? Lower your expectations, increase your standards. I've heard that line 100 times throughout my life, and finally it sank in. I always used to have big expectations. So in the very beginning, that's what I used to do. But after I started becoming consistent with things, I would, after I had a really big conversation with my dad, and I'm one of these big years, and he's like, you know what? You just graduated from college. I'm 41, so I graduated college now. But this is when I was like 23. And he said, all your friends are making 65, 70 grand, 50 grand. Why don't you set your sights on that? And I'm like, in my head, I go, easy, old man. That's pretty easy. But I didn't do that. Like the prior years, and this is when I lost the $30,000 trading accounts, I wasn't profitable, and I was not even scratching. So I needed to know first that I could scratch. So I started scratching trades, scratching months. And scratching basically means at the end of the month, I covered my commissions, I covered everything. I didn't lose any money. I didn't really make any money. I scratched. Okay, cool. That helps you get consistent because now you're like, it's like playing a game. You start to understand kind of the rhythm and the flow. And you also understand that the market giveth and the game taketh and the game giveth and all that kind of stuff. So you got to manage those days throughout the month. And then your emotions will get all. So long story short, I would take all that, Jan 1, and I would think about what do I want to do this year? Well, if I did 75 last year, and that's what I showed the, I call my old man the old man, so it's not anything rude to him. So if anybody's thinking that, so I always joke around with him, and I go, hey, remember the day when you challenged me to do 65, and I did 75. And the next year I did 100, and the next year after that I did 150, and I started cruising it up because you know your swim lane because you were a 5-figure trader. And then you were a 6-figure trader, and you didn't go from like $100 grand a year to like $1 million to like 5 million. That's like emotionally and psychologically, like I've never seen anybody handle that. Now, Danny, you've been on the floor, you've seen people with big swings, but let's talk about building a consistent, it's a level playing field here in the electronic trading world. This
Absolutely.
is the trading floor, a little bit of it. So you have to think about what have I been doing in these last 3 months? Okay, I've been making about $50 a day on average. Well, that's $250 a week. $250 a week. What's that? 10 grand, 12, 13, something around there. Grand a year. Okay, that's what you were doing. So how about you focus on 30 grand this year?
Right.
And then that's 2021. And then 2021 ends. And if you did 30 grand, which I guarantee you probably, if you're disciplined enough and you have lower your expectations, I'm not going to guarantee that, but you will definitely get yourself in a position where you're going to be like, holy crap, I can actually put up close to or exceed my goal. So you get to the 30 grand point, and then 2022 hits January December 31st, 2021, yep. And you go, I did well. And then you reflect upon your past year, and then you go, hey, what do I want to do this year? And that's why they call this whole trading world a marathon, not a race, because you're building up to where you want to be. And then you're going to find a spot where, like I got up, my highest points were like $500,000 a year, 460, 400, 300. And I wasn't doing $1 million a year because that wasn't really me. But I also wanted a lifestyle that was balanced. So it's all a matter of taking all that stuff. You got to know what your bill, your inflow and your outflow as an individual is. And if you have a second job, you look at all that and then you say, all right, I make 35 grand or 50 grand at this day job from 10 to 4 o'clock every single day. Yep. I got 3 hours in the morning. What if I could bang out 30 grand a year of 3 hours in the morning? Now I'm doing 80 grand a year, and I have security of two income streams. One in the morning that I trade, really fun, I'm passionate about it. The other one is a job that I'm okay about, but it's secure and it gives me health benefits. So you think about all that stuff, and then that helps you plan as you do it. And then you learn, you can accomplish so much. And what is the whole line? You can accomplish so much. And
Bill Gates said it. I literally quoted him the other day in the Coach's Playbook. Everyone overestimates what you can do in 1 year, underestimates what you can do in 10.
There you go. So you just, again, have patience that maybe you're not going to be $1 million a year trader, but you haven't even shown that you can put up 50. So you put it in perspective is the whole thing. And then you look and reflect. That's why you should journal. That's why you should always go through each month your journal and where's my head at? Where's the market at? How did I do? What do I want to take from this month to put in the next month? You do that each year too. So it's just building upon yourself and then finding your sweet spot. And then hopefully you can pull out 100 grand a year. That's a kick-ass annual
salary, yeah.
From trading. And maybe get yourself into much, much higher, and to each its own. That's where you got to find your own swim lane, and you got to find who you are as a trader. That's what the whole name of the game is. Who cares if your buddy's making a lot more than you? I had traders to the left of me that made a lot more than me. And anytime I tried to trade at their level, I would take much bigger hits and then not know how to pull out of those hits. But I knew how to take different type of losses and then roll those into, I can make that up in a week. No
awesome.
I can make that up in a day. So
speaking of guys that used to stand next to you, it looks like we got one of your old buddies from the floor. WST, Eric Westerberg's popping in saying, what's up, PTK?
What's up? How you doing?
Here's a great question. First off, I want to touch on this. Blaze is asking about micros. We talked about that in the beginning of this video. This is recorded. This will be on our page forever. We talked about that for a little bit, so make sure you check that one out if you missed that. Next question. And we've had a few different people asking about it. Can other countries participate outside of the U.S., and how's your customer service?
Well, our customer service is kick-ass, and their trader success, their trader support. So we don't really look at any individual as a customer. We look at you as traders. We're trying to help traders professionalizing your passion. So that's our mission as a company, and we pride ourselves in doing the best damn job we can do at that. And start with supporting you with, hey, logging in, I don't understand this, that doesn't make sense. We'll answer all those type of stuff, and they're real people, so give us a call. And second part of the question was people from all around the world.
Yeah, can people outside of the U.S. trade with Topstep?
Oh yeah, we have people from all. I mean, from I don't know, I think it's like 100.
I was gonna say 170, but at this point,
it's a lot. I mean, it just keeps cruising up there, but I don't know how many countries are out there. Sometimes that changes too, right? 180 something.
Absolutely. We have traders all around the world. There's very few. As long as you can participate in the country you live in the CME futures market, you can trade with us.
And now with the whole COVID thing, we're seeing people from like all over, and they could just be working from anywhere. I could be in Bali right now, an Australian or an American or British, and be traveling, and so we're seeing that all over. So it's just it's kind of trading. The world of trading is lending itself to the COVID times because you could be wherever, and if you have solid risk management, you can find an income.
Absolutely. Here's a good question from Eduardo out in Arizona. He's asking if we can include currency micros into the combine. Eduardo, we have an FX trading combine, which is currencies, and you can trade micros, minis, is any size small as you really want to get over on the FX side. So make sure you check that one out.
Does the futures have micros on the currencies?
I believe there are. We don't have that at this point, but definitely something we can look into. We have there. Yeah, we're always watching. We're watching gold. We're watching the crude oil minis. We definitely want to keep as many as possible. And again, it goes back to that conversation about Bitcoin liquidity. What does the spread look like? For those that trade FX or strictly futures, FX right off the get-go, there's a question that we'll just touch on this right now. It's just asking, costs in FX, why are they so high? Well, first off, right when you get into FX, that first trade you put on, commissions, the commissions and spreads in FX. So the spread when you're trading FX, they tend to be a little bit wider. You have to pay that full spread, and you have to pay those commissions on the sale as well from the get-go. Futures, you pay your half in the beginning. When you get in the trades, you pay half when you get out. That's not the case with FX. And then again, commissions, which Michael, if you want to touch on that, just about commissions.
Whatever broker we're working with. And again, if this is something that becomes a pain point, louder and louder and louder, we talk to our brokerages and we say, hey, work with us. We need better lower commissions. We've done that on the future side. We've done that CME side. We've done that. And if it's the FX, if there's an issue there, we'll talk to our broker there too. Again, we're on your side with this one. We have to have all these partners in place to make the whole engine work and to provide the opportunity to safely engage, to develop your trading style while we're actually evaluating you, and then earn a funded account. So putting all that together, but we definitely will go to bat for you. So if it's something that is inhibiting your trading, and we'll reach out to our broker, or sometimes we'll add another broker too, and if they can get better opportunities. And that's us trying to fight for you and give you the best opportunity we can.
Awesome, thank you. All right, I know we're getting a little long-winded here, but I definitely want to make sure we're getting to as many questions as possible. You guys had some awesome questions, so I'm going to try and keep them coming here for the next probably 10 minutes or so. So, Michael, I really liked this one. First off, he gives us a nice thank you. Thanks for all we do, especially for novice traders like him. So I love that. How do you cope with the urge to take a low profit? At first I was moving stops, but now with discipline, I respect the stop, let it happen, come out of the trade whether it hits it or not. So I think the great question here, how do you cope with that urge?
There's times where I've heard when you're on a cold streak. I've done when you're on a cold streak. I've heard in baseball what you do when you're on a cold streak is you just get on base. So when you're on a cold streak in trading and everything's a loser, yeah, you just want a winner. I don't give a crap if it's a little bit. It makes you feel right, makes you build the confidence a little bit, just like getting on base, where they always say, if you got a cold streak, just get on base. However you deem that. So when in trading, that becomes, again, a part of your style. What is your style as a trader? If you are saying $200 is small profits, then you have to talk about what you're averaging a day. Are you averaging $200 a day? And you're also saying $200 a day is a small profit, but you can't even average $200 a day. So you have to always look at like yourself, kind of like your batting average, I'm not going to jump into baseball back and forth, but you get the whole point here. You have an average as a trader. You go out there, you participate, you hit the ball every day, you get in a trade, you get out of a trade, you put up an average. What is that average? And then you have to then say, is this a small or big profit? So that's a hard one to answer, but for me, taking profits too soon has always been probably I've always been done really, really well with here's my stop, give me the heck out, I'm done, 3 in a row, I'm taking a break, come back, I'll look, think about patience. Do I really need a trade? Is the window of opportunity still open? No, it's not open. I don't believe it is open. I'm not going to perceive it's open. I'm done for the day. Close the laptop. I'm done. Upside, I get myself out way too soon, and I think other people probably have this issue too. So some people have the issue of always moving their stops and having the downside get bigger and bigger and bigger. I've always been a good watcher of my downside because I always heard if you take care of if you watch your downside, if you watch your 6, if you watch your downside, the rest will take care of itself. So then it becomes, I just got to work on holding and stretching out and squeezing out more out of these profits. And that to me is working with a coach. That to me is journaling and reflecting upon your day, on all that kind of stuff, because you're working on your upside, right? That's what you're basically saying. You're not really working on your downside, because it sounds like, you're taking profits too soon. You're talking about, how do I work on my upside? So that is hit balls in the cages type of deal. Like, you need repetition. All right, so I would typically take it off right here. This time I'm it also depends on where your risk reward is too.
Right.
You're 2 to 1. Why are you taking it off early? Because you're just screwing with, now you're 1 to 1. So you definitely have to be 50% or greater to be profitable. So think you have to be thinking like this. So that's why it's always good to have a plan. That's why it's always good to stick with the plan, and it's always good to reflect and adjust your plan.
Awesome. And I want to clarify, good old Mick Aronimo, our risk manager, jumped in and just said he clarified the E-mini Euro is permitted product at Topstep. So thanks for chiming in there, Mick. It's good to see your name popping up. If you don't know Mick, check out our coach's playbook.
Yes, for sure.
We got a couple great questions. I'm going to go with 3 more, and then I think we'll sign on out of here. But really quick, I do want to say, if we did not get to your question, please, please, please join us every day, 8 a.m. Central Time and 3 p.m. Central Time for the market forecast and recap. Myself and John Hoagland love getting questions and answering as much as we possibly can. So if we did not get to it, I do apologize. I love everything that's coming in here. And again, we're going to keep these rolling. We're going to do these regularly. We've got it nice. Now Michael's got a nice office and, ski out there.
This is my co-working space in Snowmass, but yes, it is. I'm going to be putting more of some Topstep stuff on it. Yes.
Awesome. All right. So here's a great question from Main Point, Big Ideas. Is it realistic for your traders that are funded to maintain an account without breaking a rule for 3 years?
Oh, yeah. We have people doing that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's a great video interview I did last year with Charles. Been with us for a long time.
Yep. So again, it's to each its own. Can you stay in your personal brokerage account for 3 years without breaking your own personal rules? I mean, it's the same exact conversation. So we're just trying to be here and saying, hey, follow the effing rules, the freaking rules, or however you want to do it. They could be your rules, but here's our rules. So build your rules inside of those. Say if we have $1,000 loss limit, make yours 900. Follow yours for 3 years. And you'll be profitable, or assuming you're profitable, you'll be on our account for 3 years as well. So our whole concept is just following rules according to risk management. You're gonna be in there for the long haul.
Absolutely. And
if you're making adjustments, remember you got to make adjustments. Just set it and forget it. Remember.
Absolutely. My focus this year, coming into this year, that I've been really trying to preach is trade what you have, not what you want. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what account size you have, how much money you have, or you want. You have to recognize what you have. If you can only risk to lose $1,500 or $3,000. You have to trade with what you've got there. Not so much of, well, I can trade this much and it's going to get me really quick to where I want to be. Focus on what you have and trade what you have. That'll grow over time, and I think you're going to be able to grow from there.
And I've gotten there before where you get that itch where you're like, if I just, do this, I can now work myself into, this different plateau account-wise and confidence-wise. It feels that easy, and if you do get it, it's short-lived. And you do get that, and it's short-lived because you didn't condition yourself. It's all about conditioning yourself, seeing those reps. That's why the combine is a great format for you to basically follow rules, our rules, follow your rules within our rules, and you'll never hit our rules. And then you condition yourself into a consistent, profitable, disciplined trader that has a foundation of discipline and great risk management.
Absolutely. Now we have a question that came in here. I have a bunch of them as well that were emailed in asking if we're going to be bringing back Sierra charts. I actually spoke today with the people at Topstep that are involved in that end. Sierra charts removed their access to Rhythmic, and so we have to bring in a whole new provider to be able to access Sierra charts. We're seeing a lot of demand for this. It's on the board for people to look at, and I'm going to continue to pass all your feedback along. I did not know there was this much demand for Sierra charts until this week, so I'm going to make sure we get that pushed up a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll bring it to I have executive meetings and leadership meetings if it's something that we're hearing a lot of. Again, we work with all these individuals, and it's like a spider web of individuals, data, back end, front end, platforms, brokerage, all that kind of stuff. And that's all weave together, and then you have to have a seamless, nice experience. So if somebody pulled out of one partnership or whatever, that does affect the whole chain. So now that we hear that and we're hearing more voices on that one, then that definitely rises up to the priority list.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. All right. I got one more question. Again, I do apologize. I know there's a ton more. We're trying to get through as many as possible. And if this keeps happening, maybe we're going to have to do
rapid questions, Danny.
Let's go. You want to go rapid? All right. Will Topstep ever offer bigger account sizes in the 500K in FX and 150K in futures?
We've talked about it. Yes, we've talked about it.
We are always talking about that one. Coleman asking.
I see value in it. I see value in offering bigger swing accounts. We have the
which is another question. So, bam, we just got two right there.
There you go. I see that one definitely. I definitely want a bigger swing account and trade a little bit bigger on micros. Have 30 micros on. That'd be fun. In the S&P, I'm holding it for a week. I'm holding it for 2 weeks.
I love it. All right, this one coming from Coleman. I've used trailing stops, and it's mitigating my losses in the past, but it seems to really cap my opportunities for a trade to run. What's your preference? A hard stop limit or trailing stop?
Yeah, that's a good. That's
I know your answer to this one.
I like the hard stops, and I like to move it up to break even. You're still managing the trade because, again, if you have this trailing stop and you go 20 ticks trail, there's times where it rips 50 ticks, and then it pulls back 10, and then you're 20 may be off the next time it rips 30, and then you didn't miss it, or then you missed it. So to me, the trailing stop is almost like the algo. So like just set it and forget it and just let it run, and it's going to hit it. So I used to be one of those, I want to do trailing stops, then I do it, and then I'd get stopped out, and then I'd run even farther, and then it got stopped out on a pullback, and now I'm taking a small profit. That goes back to the small profit conversation. So I like hard stops.
I would have to say the same. All right. Paul's asking if we can send a text reminder on my recaps. You just have to hit subscribe and hit that little bell, and it's going to give you an alert. And it goes right to your phone as long as you got notifications for YouTube on your phone. Mr. Shine's Mystery Channel, great to see your name in there. Mr. Shine's pretty big commenter on all of our videos. He's just saying thanks, guys. I respect and admire you all. So thank you for that one. Mr. Shine's Mystery Channel.
I like that.
A lot of comments still coming in about the micro, 10 micros for 1 mini. Like we said in the beginning, we are working on it. It is a tech issue. We're going to make it better. We're working on this. It is something we all want.
Right now we have the big, you call them the big combines, where it's a 30, 50, 100, 150, and that's 15 lots. 15 lots is crazy buying power, guys. And if you're, so we don't have the exact equivalent in there of 15, 150, that you put on and things like that. But we are looking at that. It is a technical thing that we have to jump over and whatnot. Could that come with larger micros combines? Sure. I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
We got some cool stuff coming out here within 7 days, and then another cool stuff coming out within 15 days or February-ish. So these two things we've been working on all of last year. No, second half of last year. And we know this topic of the micros and the minis is very big. We also know the bigger accounts are big. And how does that all work? We're going to figure that out. We have an excellent product team. It's very, very talented.
Absolutely. All right. Harry's just letting us know Sierra is working on a connection with Rhythmic. Should be out in 4 to 8 weeks. Great. Thank you for sharing that, Harry. All right.
That is traders helping traders right there.
The real ones asked this a couple times, and we're going to get to this one too. What do you guys offer for those who have already gained a lot of money and are ready to leave Topstep to go to some brokerage and open up their own individual account? What can you guys do to keep them in Topstep?
Well, for one, they probably earned a funded account, and there's an 80-20 profit split, and you don't have to pick up any of the downside. And guess what? We'll give you more buying power. If you want to talk to Mick, Mick's still on. Talk to Mick. If it's FX, just ping our FX team. We'll give you more buying power. That's an opportunity. We're traders. This is opportunities, right? That's one opportunity. It's also called the revenue stream. I was always taught to have multiple revenue streams in your life. It's just in case one of them gets shut off. You can then take money out of your funded account. You could go open up a personal brokerage account. You can trade both. One of them you can trade what you're consistently doing well with. It was a Topstep funded account. Let's just say you were day trading in that account. And then personal brokerage account, you want to go over here, then you want to do micros and you want to swing trade. There. You have a 401k, you have a long-term. These are just different strategies. All in all, you're a trader with a great foundation of risk management, which you should be building right now, because that's the utmost importance, whether you're long-term or short-term, day, swing, or Warren Buffett style, So all in all, I remember having multiple accounts. I'd have personal brokerage accounts. I'd have an options account, but the ones I would focus on all the time was my futures account and how I traded that one. Options became too much overthinking in my world. So I had a longer term stuff I would hold on for a whole month, futures. And then I would have futures intraday or a couple day hold account. That was my main one. That's the one I would always focus on. And then if I really liked something and I wanted to play it differently, again, to each his own, but you got to find your style first and then branch upon that.
Mick chimed in real nicely. The sky is the limit with the growth of your account. We want traders spreading their wings.
Yep.
Thanks,
exactly.
Mick.
So if you stick with us, we're going to be working with you. We're going to open up where you need to open up. We're going to be inviting you to cool places with us, hang out, whatever. Either way, it's our partnership with you. We like to get to know the ones that have been here. We know them. We talk to them. Hey, what's up? It's a band of traders, so to speak.
Without a doubt. I chat regularly with the traders that have been with us for a while. Those that have even left, that are in their own brokerages account, still reach out to me. And I do have conversations with them when they've got questions about trading. So, I think that's one of the coolest things about, being here with Topstep is even if you've moved past, we're always still going to be here. We want to help every trader possible. That's what this is all about. Last question, Michael. We're coming up on an hour here. I know you got to get out there and hit the slopes before too late. No.
What's your closer right now, Danny?
Our closer. A lot of questions have come in. I was going to save this one till the end. Options. What are your thoughts on options? Is Topstep ever going to delve in that avenue?
I think there's a risk management in all asset classes that people need to get familiar with, comfortable with, and evaluate it on, and we like to back you on. We can find great traders in all of those. And there's people that are struggling in all those that probably shouldn't be trading their kids' college fund or discretionary or money that shouldn't be used in the markets because they don't have that foundation. So needless to say, we've looked at other asset classes. Options, very, very interesting. We're focused right now on building out FX stronger and bigger, and futures possibly bigger, possibly bigger accounts, bigger trading size and whatnot. Uh, Options
We're always
is
trying to implement new products, new offers. I mean, there's so much out there, you know. We definitely want to be able to delve into it. I mean, these are constant conversations that we have.
These are constant. Yeah, it's just like, okay, how do we, and if we go to options, are we now losing focus on building out better futures and forex? It goes back to the you only have so many bullets in the chamber. I don't like always using that analogy, but you got to be smart with your decisions. So when you're running a company and I'm CVO and I got a great CEO and a great leadership team and a great talented team, and yeah, I can't. Hey, Danny, by the way, talk about options, talk about this, and then hey, engineering team, build this. You have to have a plan. Each year we have a plan, and where do we want to be at the end of the year, and things like that. So this year, it's going to be a lot of helping the trader through analytics, through emotional feedback and trader development type feedback in all different ways. And it's very, very exciting because it's coming out here in less than a month. We're going to be talking to you a little bit more. We're going to be sharing with you some of your stats that show you where you could where you should be focused on, or what needs attention. Oh, and
we got some cool stuff coming.
And hey, by the way, you're really good in these things. So I didn't know that stuff until I really started digging in. And then I'm like, oh, I'm good at breakout trading. I'm good at almost 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. When I'm in that category, I average this. All that feedback I didn't get till later in my career, and it helped me like boost my trading career. So we're basically spent a lot of time last year building out the back end so we can process your trades in a way that we can give you near real-time feedback, and nobody does that. So imagine getting feedback from somebody over your shoulder.
Absolutely.
Whether it's real or digital or whatever, that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, Michael, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with me, sitting down and answering all these questions. Like I said, this is going to be a regular thing. I'm not going to say it's weekly right now, but we're definitely going to be doing these as much as humanly possible. Love seeing all these comments. Love seeing these questions. The shout outs for our trader support team. I'm passing all this along. We are taking every bit of feedback, every comment you have here to heart. I've seen a couple of questions about, hey, how do I get into the Forecaster Recap? If you subscribe to our YouTube page, which is right below, you can see the name, you can hit subscribe, you can hit the bell, you're going to get alerts. You can keep that page up, and anytime we go live, and we go live every day, weekday at 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. Central Time. On Tuesdays, we have the Coach's Playbook at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. So make sure you come and join us. And if we did not get to your question here today, you can drop them in those videos. John, myself, and the coaches, when we're in the playbook, we love answering questions. So please bring them. This was awesome.
This is awesome. And to the Australias, the Ugandas, this is Snowmass. Where are you, Lake Geneva right now?
Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
So I think it's good to say where we're from or where we're at. It's not even where we're from right now because it's COVID world. It's like wherever you're sitting to work or do your thing, share it. And it makes the world a lot smaller.
Absolutely. Well, everybody out there, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart and trade well. We all look forward to seeing you guys in the markets here. We got a long year ahead of us. Really had a blast. And Taurus, I appreciate you hopping up here. Get these thumbs up to 100. So I don't even know where we're at with likes, but I don't care. This was awesome.
Yeah,
all your
guys.
Comments. This was
guys.
awesome.
And mask up. I took the mask off one time and I got COVID. Swear to God, I was very cautious about it. It's painful. Wash your hands, all that kind of good stuff. And hopefully we can be out of storm here soon and get back to fully focused on trading and whatever the new hot topic is that the markets are moving off of.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Well, Michael,